Have you ever walked away from a conversation wondering, did they like me? Maybe you replayed everything you said. You wondered whether you talked too much. Or maybe not enough. You worried that you sounded awkward or uninteresting. Most of us have been there. But here's something surprising. The people who leave the strongest first impressions usually aren't trying the hardest to be liked. In fact, psychology suggests that the more focused you are on making someone like you, the harder genuine connection becomes. Why? Because people don't just respond to your words. They respond to how they feel when they're around you. The good news is that making someone instantly like you isn't about being the funniest person in the room. It isn't about having the perfect story. And it definitely isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about creating a conversation where the other person feels comfortable, valued, and understood. Today, let's explore 6 simple psychological methods that can make almost anyone enjoy talking with you from the very first conversation. The first method is making the other person feel interesting. Most people enter conversations thinking about themselves. What should I say next? Do I sound confident? Am I making a good impression? But psychology shows that people tend to like those who make them feel important. Imagine meeting someone at a gathering. Instead of immediately talking about yourself, you ask them what they've been passionate about recently. Their face lights up. They begin sharing something they genuinely enjoy. As they speak, you stay curious. You ask thoughtful follow-up questions. You let them finish without interrupting. When the conversation ends, they leave thinking you were incredibly interesting. Ironically, they spent most of the conversation talking. That's because people often associate the positive feelings they experienced while speaking with the person who made them feel heard. Your goal isn't to impress people. Your goal is to help them enjoy talking to you. And curiosity is one of the easiest ways to do that. The second method is using active listening instead of waiting for your turn. Many conversations feel more like competitions than connections. One person shares a story. The other immediately tries to tell a bigger story. Someone talks about feeling stressed. The response becomes, "You think that's bad? Listen to what happened to me." Psychology shows that active listening strengthens trust and creates stronger social bonds. Active listening is simple. Maintain comfortable eye contact. Nod naturally. Reflect back part of what the other person says. Ask questions that invite him to continue. Imagine a friend saying, "I've been nervous about starting a new job." Instead of jumping into advice, you simply say, "That sounds like a big change. What's making you the most nervous?" That one question changes everything. They feel understood before they feel advised. People don't always need solutions. Sometimes they simply want someone who makes them feel safe enough to express themselves. The third method is finding common ground. Research indicates that people naturally feel closer to those they perceive as being similar to themselves. This doesn't mean pretending to like everything they like. Authenticity always matters, but paying attention to shared experiences creates instant connection. Maybe you both enjoy hiking. Maybe you grew up in similar neighborhoods. Maybe you've both struggled with public speaking. Even something as simple as laughing about getting lost on the way somewhere can create a feeling of familiarity. Our brains naturally relax around people who remind us, even in small ways, of ourselves. When you notice something you genuinely have in common, mention it. Not to impress them, but to build a bridge. Real connection often begins with realizing, we're more alike than I thought. The fourth method is making people feel emotionally safe. Think about the people you enjoy talking to the most. Chances are, they aren't constantly judging you. They don't laugh when you make a mistake. They don't make you feel embarrassed for asking questions. Psychology suggests that emotional safety is one of the strongest foundations of trust. Imagine someone telling you they failed an important exam. Instead of saying, "You should have studied more," you respond, "That must have been really disappointing." Notice the difference. One response creates shame, the other creates connection. People naturally like those who make them feel accepted instead of evaluated. This doesn't mean agreeing with everything. It simply means responding with empathy before offering opinions. When people feel emotionally safe around you, conversations become effortless. Because they no longer feel the need to protect themselves. The fifth method is smiling with sincerity and matching the emotional energy of the conversation. Our emotions are surprisingly contagious. Research indicates that people unconsciously mirror the emotions and body language of those around them. A genuine smile can communicate warmth before a single word is spoken. But there's something equally important: matching emotional energy. If someone is excited, celebrate with them. If someone is speaking about something serious, Don't immediately joke to change the mood. Imagine your friend proudly tells you they achieved something they've worked toward for years. Instead of giving a quick, nice pause, smile. Say, "That's incredible. You must be so proud." Your response validates their emotions. Now imagine someone quietly tells you they're having a difficult week. Instead of forcing positivity, you slow down. You listen. You respond calmly. People feel understood when your emotional response fits their emotional experience. That's a powerful form of connection. The sixth method is ending conversations in a memorable way. Many people think first impressions matter most. But psychology suggests that people often remember how interactions end just as much as how they begin. Before leaving a conversation, mention something meaningful from what they shared. For example, "I really hope your interview goes well next week." Or, "Let me know how your painting turns out." Those simple comments communicate something powerful. I was listening. Now imagine seeing that same person a week later. You ask, "How did the interview go?" Immediately they realize something. You remembered. In a world where many people forget conversations almost instantly, remembering even one small detail makes someone feel genuinely valued. People rarely expect perfection. They remember thoughtfulness. There's one final idea that quietly connects all 6 of these methods. Stop trying to be impressive. Start trying to be present. When you're constantly wondering whether people like you, your attention stays trapped inside your own mind. You begin monitoring every word, every pause, every expression, but when your attention shifts toward understanding the other person, conversations begin flowing naturally. You stop performing, you start connecting, and people notice the difference. Because genuine attention is becoming increasingly rare, the people who leave the strongest impression aren't necessarily the smartest, or the funniest, or the most confident. They're often the people who make others feel comfortable enough to be themselves. If you've ever believed you're awkward in conversations, don't be too hard on yourself. Social confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build one conversation at a time. Every interaction gives you another opportunity to become a better listener, a little more curious, a little more present, a little more understanding, and over time, those small habits completely change the way people experience you. Remember, people may forget the exact words you used. They may forget the stories you told. But they'll remember how they felt in your presence. Did they feel heard, accepted, respected, interesting, safe? Those feelings are what create lasting first impressions. So the next time you meet someone new, don't focus on making them admire you. Focus on making them feel comfortable enough to enjoy being themselves. Ironically, that's often what makes them like you the fastest. If this video helped you understand the psychology of meaningful conversations, subscribe for more insights into human behavior, personality, and the hidden habits that build stronger relationships. And before you go, ask yourself one simple question. When someone finishes a conversation with you, do they leave feeling more appreciated than they did before they met you? In the comments below, let us know other psychology concepts you want us to cover. We will be happy to create videos based on your interests. We will also be happy to have a conversation with you in the comments. Have a great day.